All right, we'll take it off.
Oh, okay. Did you want me to read that tonight?
Wait, what happened?
Warning! The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
We advise it.
I'm trying to figure out how to hide it.
We
All right, hey
advise
yo,
it.
we're back. We're live. This is Silver Age Dave.
That's a real guy.
That's an actual guy.
I know, but
He's
like
really cool.
I wasn't.
Silver Age Dave is going to sue us now.
I wasn't
Probably.
throwing shade. It was just because we just watched Golden Guys. Anyway, hey yo, what's poppin'? I'm Chad. It's Friday, Tuesday night.
No,
we
no,
got
you say hello. My name is Karen.
hello.
Your name is Karen now,
Karen.
Chad.
We're live. I've got Seawood below me. I got Drew Manchu this way,
Here I am.
and I got Kat down that way.
Hi.
Let's hit up the
And
chat real
Iron
quick.
Heart.
Oh, we've got
Video games.
Comic Man Andy eating popcorn. We got Chris Barrett. Hey guys, free at last, free at last. I mean, great show, Golden Guys. Seawoodard 19, congrats on being the first, Andy. LOL. Seawood. Hey, the great legends there, and our best moderator of all time, Stream Elements. Thank you.
Dream Elements bot.
Dream Elements bot for the win.
We're being nice to him in case the robots take over.
The robots are definitely taking over.
At some point, they're going to.
We're,
All right.
hedging, we're hedging our bets.
So driving home tonight, had a conversation with Carson, and we were like, you know what? Let's go live with this idea because this is a great idea, and we want to talk X-Men, MCU, what the team's going to be, who's going to play them, and the story behind it. Cat, no yawning. Wake the fuck up.
I'm drinking, Chad.
Get game day, kiddo. All right,
Bring it together.
Carson.
Sort yourself out.
Who's the team? Who's your team? What is your team members in the MCU?
So we were talking on the phone earlier, and my idea was, everyone's like, "Oh, who's playing Wolverine and Storm and all this stuff?" I want to go back to the very beginning. I got to go classic on this one. So of course, the whole plot's going to be around the Xavier Magneto dynamic. Xavier's team is going to be Jean Grey, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. You got to go OG. You build your movie around the original 5 plus Xavier. You have the story of them fighting the Brotherhood. And then post-credit sequence, snicked, you see Wolverine walking around the snowy Canada, and then you go into X-Men 2 with your giant-size X-Men Claremont team.
All right. Well, I will take you a Claremont and see you a Drew.
Oh, well, I mean, you're raising me. I mean, you're definitely going for broke here on this one, Chad. I think that that story sounds great to me, Seawood, but Xavier Magneto, it's a tired dynamic that we've done to death. I would like to see something different, and I agree. I'd like to see the original X-Men team, but I'd like to see them as X-Factor, and I'd like them to see them do Apocalypse and give him some justice here. I think that he is a much more dynamic big bad that you can kind of have a one-off story with, and there's a really good place to start the X-Men. You throw in the thoughts of Sinister, you throw in the thoughts of cloning the Summers kids, all that stuff in there, and then you can play around with it any way you like. But I think that when you go all the way back to Magneto, you're doing Magneto again. It's like doing another Spider-Man origin story. So my team is Beast, the newly transformed Beast. He's hairy. He's not just a dude with big feet. Angel / Archangel. Yeah, he's gonna do the turn in this story right here. You got your Scott Summers. You got your Jean Grey. You got your Bobby as Iceman. You bring in some tertiary characters in there, like Moira McTaggart, maybe. You throw in a couple of villains. Maybe Mystique gets some shine. But overall, you stay away from the Wolverine. I agree with that. And then you do that later on.
All right. I'll see a Drew and raise you one cat.
All right, so I'm going to go a little bit different than some of my co-hosts on this. I honestly feel like we've had enough of the introduction to. I honestly feel like let's just dive right on into it, full steam ahead. Let's say the mutants have been there, but they've kind of been in hiding. Let's say they've gone out of their way to cover up the exploits of the mutants. Let's say that the X-Men have been established. Everyone's just kind of like mentioned, but let's team up with some characters that you wouldn't necessarily see starring out in an X-Men film. I'd like to see some craziness go on. Of course, Magneto's going to be on there because it's freaking Magneto. I'd like to see Magneto teaming up with Emma Frost. I'd like to see the Cuckoos. I'd like to see, Cyclops. I'd like to see that whole storyline go on. I'd like to see some magic. And of course, my boy Colossus has to be there at some point.
Hey, this is a family show.
No, it's not, Drew. Did you not hear the warning before the show?
Yeah, it's not suitable for all families.
Carson left.
Yeah, Carson's had enough. He didn't like
Colossus,
that.
And he was like, no.
Yeah, he didn't like that. I didn't like his Magneto idea.
Gone too soon, and he was like, no.
He might be back.
But I honestly feel like let's jump over the whole like introduction thing and just dive right on into it. Let's say like we can have so many characters, so many different off branches, but I would like to see my girls in this primarily. And hell, if we're gonna have the whole Inhumans in there, possibly we can have X-Men versus the Inhumans and fix some of the issues that we had with that storyline and bring out some of the awesome things that we had with that storyline, like Dazzler taking out Black Bolt.
So I agree with I mean on a lot of fronts with everybody. My biggest problem is how are you going to do Magneto now, right? I mean, technically he would be in his late 80s.
Yeah, well, he's been de-aged a couple of times in the comics.
But I mean, you can't do his backstory. He's not going to be as
no. I think maybe you tell a little bit of the backstory and through some flashbacks, but you don't need to do all that. Like you can basically hit the ground running with a super team of X-Men that know what they're doing. You don't have to have Xavier even really involved. You do the X Factor Apocalypse storyline the way I lined it out. Xavier's not in this thing except for maybe a cameo.
So if we're going to do a trilogy, let's say we're doing a trilogy. Here's my team. And let's see what he's back.
Trilogy, I think what I would have done is exactly what I said and have the second villain be a Mr. Sinister story arc, have Cable come back, say, Apocalypse is coming back, and you bring Apocalypse back in the third. I think that you can milk that for 3 movies.
So I mean, here's my team. Ready? And call me. I say you get the OGs back. You get Iceman, Jean Grey, Bobby. I mean, Warren, Cyclops, and Beast. Right? They're all in there, but they're already established. They face off against an enemy that whoops their ass, and they got to go find some help. That's where you bring in Storm, Gambit, Rogue, and Colossus, and let's throw in a Jubilee just for fun.
All right, if you're gonna do that, you might as well throw them in the Thunderbird just so you have somebody who can bite the bullet,
or a Morph,
Yeah, that was Morph. Morph was a new age Thunderbird.
So I say you stick with the formulas that got you where it is. Their heart and soul was that 92 cartoon run, and then the Jim Lee. I mean, the stories are great in the past, but I mean that's what we all got sucked into. After that, this is my little twist. If we're gonna do a trilogy, build it up with with Apocalypse as the big bad, but make the third movie Age of Apocalypse. You cut off Wolverine's arm, you do the whole 9.
I think it's too much. I love Age of Apocalypse. I don't think they should ever do it as a movie. It's like its own universe. I don't think you can do it justice. I think there's just too much
you're
there.
probably right. But we were thinking, how do you
the best stuff would end up just being, weird costumes in the background, and you wouldn't really get to explore enough. But I think that if you
time out, I'm sorry, you just said weird costumes in the background. Mark, can you put your hands up?
Mark, can you put your hands up?
So,
no, they're arthritis gloves.
Is he like
Quicksilver
Bender from the Breakfast Club?
They're arthritis gloves.
Drew,
I changed my mind, Mark. You're not allowed to have my baby anymore. Not after that fashion choice.
All right, let's hit up the chat.
My fingers have been swelling all week, so this is helpful.
Don't blame that on me.
Oh, I'm blaming that on you, all my dog.
Oh my god.
So we've got Gore Vidal in the chat. We've got Fish Tropic.
Fish Tropic.
And
I'm going to cast Banshee in my third X-Men movie after, the team has been decimated. He's got to train the Generation X kids. He comes in and he's like, I was an X-Men back in the day. And then he's going to he sounds like Groundskeeper Willie. And,
oh God.
Maybe we get Hank Azaria to do the voice.
He can't do a boo anymore.
Yeah, he can do the Groundskeeper Willie. That's him too, isn't it?
Yeah, he does most of them, I think.
Yeah, and then you just make Banshee CGI.
Okay. All right, Carson.
That's a good idea. I'm standing behind that one.
Corey, Carson, give me
Corky. Come on, Corky.
Oh my God, it's not even Friday yet. What can I do for you,
We're
Chad?
off the rails, and it's a Tuesday.
By the way, we've got a super chat in the chat. The Great Legends Show. $1.99 says cool. And it doesn't pop up on the because he used some kind of crazy emoji. It doesn't pop up on the StreamYards thing, so he can't show it. But Great Legend, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. I'll be going straight.
He's dancing like this.
The best thing I can show is Fish Tropic shouting out Legend, saying Legend is a baller. $1.99 house service coming at y'all.
All right.
Emojis. Yes.
How are you telling the backstory of the X-Men?
It's a difficult one because we've had this whole rich history of the MCU, and there hasn't been one iota of a mutant, with the exception of debatably Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So maybe what you do in this case is you kind of go back to Avengers Endgame, and when Tony Stark did his snap, what did it change in the reality of the MCU? And maybe kind of just use that as, all these mutants start springing up because the world isn't what it's supposed to be because of the Infinity Gauntlet, being all assembled, put together, and, reality being trifled with. So maybe that they start to see, this X gene start to pop up, and, guys like Magneto, they're wanting to finally use their powers to prove their supremacy, but you still have that what caused the Civil War. These people can't just be coming out and using power, so Xavier has to get his crew together, basically, and he's trying to teach them the right way to suppress their powers, to not harm others. And unfortunately, when Magneto makes his stand, who's going to be there to stop him? But the OG X-Men.
There's a good comment from Gore in there. It says, no more origin stories. Even non-comic book readers know them. It's been 20 years. Just jump into the stories. Just don't make them adolescents like most Marvel films.
I think what makes X-Men work so well is the fact that they're children, right? Is the fact that it's a school. It gives you the opportunity to have characters come and go. I think that makes it ripe for episodic storytelling, which is great for television. But if you're going to be doing a movie and you want it to be something that you can build, I've said it a bunch of times. Like what I think they should do really is just have the X-Men who are established be the teachers at a school for New Mutants. These should be the kids growing up for 5-6 years. You shoot all the movies at the same damn time, like a goddamn Harry Potter universe, and you can get eight movies out of these kids, and you watch them grow up, and then they can have their own franchises when it's all done. So I think that you can do that, and Warner Brothers with Harry Potter has a really great roadmap for that. But if you think how they're going to actually do it in the MCU, they're not going to leave Wolverine out of the first movie. Like we all want them to. We all said, all right, enough Wolverine. He's coming. Get ready for that. Get ready for Wolverine because he sells.
How about if it was like? How about if they threw us a giant curveball and did like? It literally did X-Force.
I think they're going to literally do the Ultimate X-Men, where Wolverine was the first mutant. They activated his mutant power, experimenting on him to try to make a super soldier, right? So it all spins out of Cap, which we already have. We already have the makings of that, just shifted to Canada for the Weapons H program. And then you find out that that's where mutants were discovered, and some of them have been around longer than we know.
So back to the chat real quick. We got Jack Campbell. He says, who runs Border Town? Master Blaster runs Border Town.
It's true. That is not up for debate. Master Blaster won the election.
You guys never watched. That's a mad.
And you answered it on Twitch. I love it.
Did I not answer it in the other ones?
Yeah, you did. I was just giving you a hard time.
Kat, you watch some crazy ass shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Segue of the day.
Can you give us a storyline? And what's Mark playing right now?
Mark, what are you playing right now?
Division 2.
Division 2.
Tell everybody about your new game first.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me grab it.
Oh God.
All right. So, just full disclosure, I'm aware this came out a few years ago. This came out a few years ago on Steam, and I played it when it was just kind of like a whatever digital version, but that was before it was a complete finished game. So they came out with a complete finished game of this, and I was unaware that they came out with a physical copy of it. I thought it was just a digital format game. But I saw this at my local shop, and I about screamed for a minute or two. And that is Goat Simulator, the bundle. Goat Simulator, the bundle.
There you go.
And it includes the zombie format. So you can play as a zombie goat.
Your taste goes as far as games too.
But I like hot messes, and this game is a hot mess.
Yeah, we can tell by looking at Mark's gloves.
Mark has arthritis, damn it.
Mark, we
Not
love you, man.
arthritis.
Do you guys have matching shirts on?
No.
No, he's got a Pet Cemetery shirt on.
I've got Friday the 13th with some Jason Voorhees.
Now I want
to play with
you.
And then he's got Pet Cemetery with the cat. Church.
Metaphor.
Cat.
That's my son.
Cool. Says
Goats. FT Dubs,
FTW.
brah. FT Dubs, brah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Kat, all right. So ultimately, did you read the Ultimate Universe X-Men?
Yeah, a little bit of it.
All right. So what would you like ultimately do to bring them and modernize them? Carson had a great idea of putting, having Magneto be the ringleader and kind of the main guy behind Baron Zemo, because like with the whole, what's that place that they were all at? I'm terrible with names.
Budapest.
No, when in Ultron they
Yeah,
No,
Nate
Sokovia.
Voltron. Yeah,
Oh,
Sokovia. That's what I've been
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
think
yeah,
of all day.
Good
So-
old Sokovs.
And it was the Sokovia
Sean the Shape.
Accords.
Accords.
Fish
So
Tropic. Sean the Shape. He put Shaun of the Goats, and I said Sean the Shape.
Shaun
Oh.
the sheep.
Sean the Shape.
all right.
Sean the Shape. Anyway,
So how are
Sean
you
the
going to
Blake.
modernize them and give me a Charles Xavier backstory with a Magneto backstory?
I mean, do we really need another backstory?
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I get it.
I already said this. I already said this. Like, we've had so many, like, this is an introduction to the mutants. This is an introduction to Jean Grey, to Rogue, to whatever, to this character, to that character. And they haven't been in the MCU this far. That being said, we're going to have the Inhumans kind of brought about. We're going to have a lot of different things kind of brought about in the MCU. Why not bring about the mutants the same time we bring about the Inhumans, and we talk about what is it, the Terrigen gas, the clouds and everything they have, and we
Teriyaki mist. Shout out to Trinity.
the teriyaki mist that they have going on, because it's extremely toxic and deadly to mutants. Why not have it where they're discussing, hey, a percentage of the population are at risk over this, and then we just dive right on into it where the mutants and the Inhumans are kind of at odds with one another. Why not just dive 100% on into it and then just say, hey, there's been this whole like conflict that's been behind the scenes that no one's really thought of because, this seriously powerful mutant and this seriously powerful Inhuman have gone out of their way to hide it from normal humans.
I think the only problem with that is that the show did so bad that I think they're going to stay away from that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I honestly,
I love
feel
the
like-
Inhumans, man. They're such good characters.
I feel like if you put enough money behind it, you can get a solid Inhumans.
I think so.
Which they cheapened out on that series. Like,
It was really bad.
They screwed those actors over on that series because if they would have given them an actual budget,
I think we're going to find out when
Could have been
Eternals
awesome.
happens. I think Eternals is going to be what they wanted Inhumans to be.
yeah.
I think it's going to open up a new realm that they can tell stories in the way that Feige wanted to do with Inhumans. Inhumans got off to a rough start because they took it over on the TV and they didn't want to give it up. Feige was pissed about that.
With that $2 super chat.
Hooked on the brothers.
Come on,
brothers.
They're doing some great stuff, and they love them some Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, Turtles, man. We got to talk about that stuff. Come back on the core, guys.
We're going to work them into the MCU.
I think
All right. Go ahead.
another way you could kind of tie it into the Avengers and bring like our current MCU characters into it is, of course, the Wanda Quicksilver kind of thing, which, Quicksilver gone too soon. But Wanda, it goes back and forth whether or not she's a mutant or an Inhuman, just in general. She's supposedly an Inhuman now, but we shall see if that flip-flops once again. I personally think it'll flip-flop. Maybe
She might be an Inhuman now, but she was inbreeding in Old Boy.
Yeah, she was.
No.
Oh God, not that movie again. Chad made us watch this movie.
Do you guys want to talk about other movies
It
too?
was traumatic.
There we go.
Maddox, my birth video.
Warning! The following content may not contain or may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. We advise discretion.
Oh God, yes. Okay, so I agree with Chris Barrett. Wanda is a mutant. Wanda was a mutant when I was a youngin. I think she's
traitor,
a
Wanda
mutant
Maximoff.
now, but
Traitor.
whatever. What are you calling traitor?
She's a traitor. Wanda Maximoff. She's a traitor.
Yeah.
Have you read House of X Powers of 10 yet, Kat?
Yes, I've
That's
read
good.
some of it.
You should read all of
I
it.
have it. I've been collecting. I just
She's
need
been
to
labeled a
read
traitor. Superhero Reviews is in the chat.
All right, let's
Mr.
talk
Brown says a search for her origins leads her to mutants.
all.
Hey,
Right?
I like that. Let's do that.
Why not?
There's going to be a lot of stuff
Have
going.
her look for her real papa.
Chad, you seen any good movies lately?
I saw this one about this dude that this doctor has this robot like T-Rex. He takes this dude's head.
Takes a teenage Paul Walker's brain and sticks it into a mechanical Tyrannosaurus Rex because he needs a real brain. He needs a real brain. He will give him the world.
I have not been able to watch any new movies, but I know somebody that has.
Yeah?
Somebody fresh out of the new renamed Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, who saw that?
I did.
Oh, me too.
You saw it too?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
What did I think?
Yeah.
You really want to do this?
Yes.
It might be. Look,
Did you not like it?
I'm going to go ahead and frame this discussion real quick.
You don't have to like it. Just tell me.
It's my third favorite DC movie. Right?
After
Best
what?
DC movie, hands down. Gave me a
After-
Shazam. Right? That is the best the DC movies have been. I will take it out of the conversation and address it up front that I do not enjoy Man of Steel as a Superman movie, but I enjoy it as a film, and it's a good movie with a fundamental misunderstanding of Superman, so I don't count it. It's out of the running. Second, Aquaman. Aquaman is great. It's fun. There's action. Amber Heard's in it, and I can pretend she's not talking. And then it's like... And then what's his name's in there? Ivan Drago or whatever. He's in there being awesome.
Khal Drogo.
Right. Yeah, he's in there. So how can you not love that movie? Then Harley Quinn, Part 7, The Birds of Prey might be in this movie for a second at the very end, and it's the worst costumes in the history of film.
It's not good.
It's typical DC trash, but it's inverted. Okay, for some reason, the first 2 acts of this movie can't seem to figure out what the hell they are or what's going on. And then when they all get together for the 3rd act, it's really good. And there's some really good bones to this movie they're just rearranged into the most ridiculous looking skeleton monster that's not human. Whoever directed this movie, kudos to you. All the stars of this movie, kudos to you. The writers are some of the jokes, kudos to you. The choreography and the fights, oh man, that's fantastic stuff. Whoever edited this movie owes me an apology. It is a mindless pile of shit for the first 2 halves. The first 2/3 of this movie are just so terrible. They lean so hard into we want to be Deadpool. Let's have an unreliable narrator who needs to go back and explain things over and over again, that they step on their own dicks on the way out the door. The problem with this movie is like the Bertinelli Diamond, the Bertinelli Massacre, the Origin of Huntress. Those are 3 different scenes that are all the same scene that they go back to 3 different times. They go back to Harley in the bar getting drunk. They go back to the Black Mask having a problem with the Golden Wings or whatever the hell the criminal organization was, the Yakuza or whatever they are. And they go back to the most pointless character in all of this, Black Canary, singing. And I'm sorry, you can like her all you want, and she does these high kicks in these tight pants, but beyond that, she has no reason to be in this movie. And they go back to that scene, which is essentially the same scene 3 times. 3 times. It's told out of order for no reason, and it's just hard to follow. Everybody gets the longest, most long-winded explanation of who they are when it's not necessary. All of this could have been done in like a 20-minute cut scene at the beginning of the movie if they just would have thrown that we want to be like Deadpool but shitty shtick out the window, which is exactly what Harley comics are. And I'm not that upset that that's what the movie ended up being, because basically it's just like low-rent Deadpool. And that's what I have to say about it.
I feel like you just slapped me in the face. Just for
with
saying
truth.
Harley Quinn was a low rent Deadpool.
That's exactly what she is.
No. Do you want to know? You want to know what they should apologize to you for? And
A
this
lot
was
of
my
things,
biggest,
but mostly the editing.
my biggest issue with that entire film. 100%. Even bigger than the costume errors. Even bigger than that. Even bigger than some of the scenes that they did cycle back to. Even bigger than that. Cassandra Cain.
No, I think that kid did a good job with what she was asked to do. She
useless.
wasn't orphaned by any means, but Zaz wasn't Zaz by any means, and he was just fine.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
And Roman
Literally-
Sionis wasn't Black Mask by any means, but that worked out just fine.
Literally, Cassandra Cain in this was insert random teenage runaway here.
Yeah, that's fine. I like the fact that they gave her a name that actually
Why
worked with the
did they
universe.
have to give her that name then? Why couldn't
What?
they have just created a new character or made her any number of other characters that could actually fit that model? Why did they have to make her Cassandra Cain? Because they wanted to checkbox a Batgirl name. That's
Yep.
what
Miss
they
Giggly
that was a waste of that
picked
character.
pocket
calling
picker
Cassandra
didn't fit.
Cain. It was a waste of that character.
I don't know. I think they did a lot right. Like, there are the bones of a really good movie in here. I think Huntress was amazing. Was hilarious. They call me the crossbow killer. Yeah, everybody called her the crossbow killer. She was a spoiler alert. It's the only one really good joke in the movie is that they keep calling Huntress the crossbow killer, and she's like, they call me Huntress, and nobody calls her Huntress. It's pretty hilarious. It's pretty hilarious. And those costumes they put them in when they finally is like, oh no, now they're the good do-gooders or whatever.
Costumes were not well fitting at all.
Awful.
Like,
awful. Renee Montoya, what a waste. Rosie Perez, what a waste. It was just not good, man. Just wasn't good.
Well, let me ask, Carson, what was your thoughts on the movie?
Characters and be like, here's what their costumes should look like. Here you go.
Carson, do us a favor, land right in the middle here.
All right, yeah, the movie was all right. I feel like the Birds of Prey didn't need to be in it. Like, it was definitely a Harley Quinn movie and a kind of basically sequel to Suicide Squad, which thank God it was 10 times better than Suicide Squad, at least.
Oh, it certainly was better than that, yes.
I mean, that's night and day. So at the very least, if people are like...
Better than Wonder Woman.
This is a... whatever. Anyway, if people are thinking this is a direct follow to Suicide Squad, if you hated Suicide Squad, definitely at least give this movie a chance. But yeah, I enjoyed the Birds of Prey, but at the end of the day, they weren't needed in it. They had enough chemistry with, Harley and the little girl who didn't need to be Cassandra Cain, but was Cassandra Cain anyway. I enjoyed Huntress as well. Huntress is awesome. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is always good in anything she's in. I wish we would have got much more of her since she was in the movie, but hopefully at least this may lead. Well, probably won't because I guess it's kind of bombed at the box office, but it'd be nice if it led to at least just like a regular Birds of Prey movie where you eventually get Barbara Gordon on the team somehow. I'm guessing that's why they at least picked one Batgirl to be in here that wasn't a Batgirl anyway. But overall, enjoyable movie. Definitely worth seeing once. I'm not going to suggest everyone runs out and sees it. It'd probably be a good rental or Netflix or HBO watch.
If you do want to see it, you better run because it's not going to be in theaters very long.
They've already renamed it.
So over the weekend, the entire plot of Morbius popped up on Reddit. While it was initially dismissed as fan fiction, moderators of the forums were provided with proof that the leaker had seen the movie. So for all intensive purposes, let's discuss it. And here's what the article says. As a result, we know that it is, in fact, the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of the Spider-Man who is referenced in the film. The graffiti we saw in the trailer was just a placeholder, and it's Tom Holland's web-slinger who is going to be pictured on the big screen because Sony only had the Peter Parker image at the time. In terms of cameos, we're going to have Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes, Michael Mando's Mac Gargan, and Woody Harrelson's Cletus Cassidy also will appear when Michael Morbius is sent to prison. And it sounds like the Vulture is looking to assemble a team. Something tells us that this will be the Sinister bunch. J.K. Simmons, J.J. Jameson also appears in the news reports covering Morbius's action. Oscorp will be referenced in it, as well as the blip. So it's clear. It's clear to say that it's going to be in the MCU. As always, any rumored leak should be taken with a pinch of salt. But so, what are you thinking about? How do you guys feel that this is going to transition into the MCU?
I think this movie actually looks good, which has me very upset because I don't know what to think. Normally, I see a trailer and I'm like, and I'm right. And I don't know if I'm going to be right about this one.
How about you, Kat?
Yeah, there's a bar at my theater, so I figure I'll go in there. If it's good, then I'll just be eating my popcorn, hanging out. If it's shitty, then I might go to the bar, have a shot or two, and then head back into the theater and finish watching.
So you got a
it.
couple shots when you were watching Harley Quinn and the Birds of...
No, actually, that was just popcorn movie. I loved it. I loved Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. I know a lot of people probably won't necessarily for certain reasons, but I had fun. I had a blast.
I would highly suggest that you don't go see it.
Morbius looks like a good movie. I liked the trailer so far. I like Jared Leto as an actor. That may or may not be your cup of tea necessarily, but I think he's fantastic. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I'd like to see him try again with Marvel this time.
Carson?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I've never been a Morbius fan. I don't care about Morbius. The trailer looked all right.
You don't care about Morbius? You
don't care about Morbius. I'm so sorry. It's just not my cup of tea or blood or whatever you want to say. But
blood.
Not
my cup of blood.
I'll probably wait for Netflix or streaming service to get it, and then maybe I'll watch it then. The same time I watch Aquaman for the first time because I haven't seen that one yet. But I would say this: I would probably go see it somehow instead of working Spider-Man villains or Venom in there. It'd be cool if they tried to use this as a way to introduce Blade in the MCU. I'd rather see Blade than any of these characters.
So what I'm hearing here is I need to mail Carson a Blu-ray of Aquaman.
It's on HBO.
Then watch it on HBO. Damn.
It's 2 hours.
It's
2 hours. Dude, it's like...
Dude,
Carson, do you like fantastic? Do you like the Fast and the Furious movies?
No, they're pretty dumb.
Yeah, but like the thing about them is, no matter how dumb they are, you can just like sit down and watch them, right? Because they do this thing where as soon as stuff stops making sense, something explodes and you have to look at something else, right? Aquaman does this. There are these conversations that get convoluted, and then as soon as you're like, wait, what? Something explodes and a fight starts. It's so great. It's so great. It's got the perfect pacing for a dumb movie. It's so good. Watch Aquaman.
Explosion movie, and it's fun. And there's colorful fishies throughout the entire thing.
And then like they start doing some BS you don't care about, but it looks nice.
Okay.
What about you, Chad?
How do you feel about Aquaman?
I enjoyed Aquaman. I just like Aquaman, like when Carson just says, "My man."
Oh yeah,
my man. So here's something, and I'll ask you this because we were talking about the X-Men coming to the MCU. What other teams besides the X-Men and the Fantastic Four would you like to see in the MCU?
I'm not that hyped on teams, to be honest. I would like to see a lot more of individual characters and individual stories told. And I think that if you pop a couple of cameos in there.
I thought you said pills. Pop a couple.
No,
pills.
Don't pop pills.
Okay.
Pills you pop. Don't pop those pills. You learn to stop.
Speaking of, I'll pop Drew real quick. Drew, my answer to that is going to be the Justice League because I want to see a good version of the Justice League.
Oh,
I got you. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, that's not a joke. We all know you're being serious.
No, but what
Actually,
seriously,
can I
what-
say Defenders? Because Chris Barrett made a good point. I would
That's
love
a
to see the Defenders get integrated with the rest of the big boys.
Did you say the original Defenders or
No, I want my Daredevil. I
Give me
want,
that.
yeah, I don't really want Iron Fist. We could pass on Iron Fist. But I want Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and especially Charlie Cox Daredevil, thrown in with those big guns that we see on the movie screens. I think they deserve it.
Okay. I'll let. I would
And
love. I would
There you
love
go,
to
Andy.
see a standalone movie of the original Thunderbolt story with Baron Zemo as Citizen. What was it? Citizen V, right?
Yes, Citizen V.
I really, really enjoyed that run. Kat?
I personally, especially now that the series may or may not be happening,
LOL.
I would really like to see a Hawkeyes movie.
That series hasn't been totally canceled, though. I haven't heard.
I've heard both. I've heard rumors on both ends, but I said Hawkeyes because I would like to see Clint and Kate teaming up together, or even just Clint taking Kate under his wing. Mark, why did you have to turn the lights on? What is wrong with you? I know, right? But Mark, you
They're gonna get into a fight.
anywho,
Or Mark.
another thing.
Can't
As far
punch
as
Mark. He's got arthritis.
so.
Diabetes.
And he's not Scott Malcolmson, okay?
I'm Scott Malcolmson. I'm diabetes.
Scott Malcolmson with his diabetes, okay? Anywho, as far as individual characters
I
would
look
go,
fancy.
I'm changing it to individual characters now. I
it.
would like to see She-Hulk.
She-Hulk's going to be a show.
Yeah,
I want
it's
to
gonna
see
be.
her as a movie. I don't care about a show.
Oh, she'll be in the movie. Kevin Feige has said that all of the things that they're building on these Disney Plus shows will be in the movies.
Yeah, and I think one thing that
She-Hulk, attorney at law.
I think one thing that they're building
Like
up
Law
to
and
that
Order, but She-Hulk.
Carson and I would both kind of enjoy is going to be the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Give me some Alpha Flight.
To America Chavez.
Chavez.
Yeah, Alpha Flight would be Alpha
I
Flight
don't
would be
know.
awesome.
It's pronounced Chavez.
How about Power Pack?
How about not?
How about Dazzler?
Disco Dazzler or Outback Dazzler?
New Warriors.
Disco Dazzler on tour.
The New
let's
Warriors, I think,
video
has
Dazzler.
has potential to be something great. But at the same time, it also has potential to be an absolute disaster.
I mean, if you're going to do a team? I mean, and I know they're talking about having Peter being Spider-Man being that Young Avengers. Why don't they just do like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
That could be good.
God, live action Firestar.
Yes.
Yeah, and they can make Iceman like super gay. He can be Firestar's gay best friend and be like real sassy.
But he wasn't.
No. You think that that's a bad idea? It's not. It's a great idea. Kids will eat that shit up with a
He's gonna
spoon.
be feisty.
He needs a sass. Firestar needs to show up and be kind of like Mean Girls bitchy, and then Iceman can be her gay BFF. Kids
What
will
would
eat that
Peter
shit
be?
up. Peter would just be the white guy that's like there, and he's like, "Oh man, can't believe I'm just the lame white guy." That's the way they make movies these days.
And then they would have that dog. What was that dog's name?
Oh God, yeah, Aunt May's dog. I can't remember the name either.
Shaggy.
Sour cream and Chavez.
I don't have the rights to a dog named Shaggy.
No.
They're making a new movie called Scoob.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that looks.
Named Scooby-Doo. That looks god awful.
You say that, but all the Scooby-Doo
I
movies
said
look awful and are
You-
amazing.
No.
You
No.
literally said 2
No.
weeks ago that Pikachu, the movie, should have won an Academy Award.
I did.
Did you mean it?
Pikachu, actually.
She did. She
Yes,
meant
I
it.
did.
Like-
I did mean it. I 100% meant it. Do you want to know what my issue is?
What is
You
the category? No, I don't want to know what your issue is. I just want to know what the category is.
I don't even care. Anything.
Just
That movie is
anything? Just anything?
Best anything.
so above the year.
He was pissed that
Best
they didn't.
supporting
do
actor
that.
the award goes to.
Film of the year, Detective Pikachu.
No, you didn't. It's not Film of the Year. It's Best Anything Award.
Best anything award.
Yeah,
No,
Lifetime Achievement Award for having the most Pokemans in it.
Ooh.
No.
There were only 18 Pokemans in that Ready Player One. There's not enough Pokemans. We need to make a whole Pokemans movie.
If you want to know what my issue is with
I
Scoob,
don't know. I've
the
had a
movie.
lot of ideas as to what your issue might be. But
Scoob the movie. Instead of using actual accomplished voice actors, they go with, hey, look, this is a name we can slap on this poster.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm
TJ
over it. I'm like, no.
TJ's a purist.
It looks like
TJ doesn't like that Iceman's gay, but here's the thing, man, is like if Iceman was still doing Iceman stuff, nobody would care. But the thing is, Iceman's book stopped being Iceman fighting villains and telling corny jokes. And it became Iceman grappling with telling his parents that he's coming to dinner with another
One of
man.
the 42
That's
X-Men
weird.
books coming down the pipeline, though.
I don't
No,
want
that
to.
book got canceled.
I-
Sin Grace's Iceman got canceled for
I don't
Hitman.
want to debate this with Drew one bit, and I'm sorry that I have to say it. So, like, I'm preferencing. I really don't. I'm not. It's too late to debate.
Too late to debate.
My issue right now is just the X. I'm afraid. Like, I loved the X-Men back in the day. I absolutely loved it. I'm afraid that they're going to go the route of the Batman that lasts with oversaturation.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah,
All of them.
I understand your concern,
All of
Chad.
them.
I really.
But the
I-
difference between oversaturation of a single character and oversaturation of the X-Men concept is the concept itself breeds its own universe, right?
My biggest fear, though, Drew, is like I guess I just want like it. That the cartoon was so good. The runs were so good. I just want it to be better than, because I mean, essentially, wasn't it one of the first movies that kind of started everything? X-Men.
Yeah.
I just want it. I mean, I think it deserves the respect and like to be something amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you see what I'm trying to say?
I see where you're at on it. I think that it's become a property via film that is tarnished.
Yeah.
I think though that with the comics right now, like Fallen Angels wasn't good, but it certainly wasn't absolute crap. It had the Krasinski art was pretty good. The if you wanted a story about Psylocke, you got one.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, there hasn't been anything that's been outright bad released under the X-Men banner with Hickman in charge. I think that if you're getting so much out of these stories, like what I'm looking forward to is a day when I can say, nope, I don't want those X-Men titles, right? Because right now, everything's must buy. Everything's really good. I want it to be where I can say, no, I don't need that. It's not for me. But I also want to see, comments in chats that people are saying, no, that I like that one. Even the ones that I don't like. I think that's when they come back to prominence, is when we have something for everyone and not everything is for everyone.
Carson, do you want to address the chat real quick?
Yeah, we got Gore Vidal had a great comment early. He says, at the end, comics are a separate form of art from films. Starlin's Warlock, Miller's Daredevil, Sienkiewicz's New Mutants, David Lloyd's V for Vendetta, Kirby's Eternals that can't be replicated into film form. A film must be judged by film standards, and so far, most comic-inspired films haven't been very good, in his opinion.
Yeah, well, I would beg to differ. I think that when you're the medium that is keeping the film medium alive, when you're the genre, superhero films are the reason why art house films have a place to play, because they keep these theaters open. They make money. They are the highest artists in the format are tripping over themselves to get jobs on these films. So it's, say what you will about it, but every thespian worth their salt wants to be in a Marvel movie. That's how you get paid. That's how you put your kids through college.
Is it?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a superhero.
Yep, starving Hollywood actors.
You sounded so sincere. Welcome to the Flanners Institute.
Just play some sad music in the background.
Doo-doo-doo. I mean, didn't they just make an announcement they did get the rights back to Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they have so many opportunities to start making some films. In reality, and I think he's announced a couple of those things. But I mean, with Disney and this streaming service and the budgets that they're attaching to that, do you think that they're going to make as many big box office films, or do they apply it to the the Disney Plus? And we got lurking. We've been lurking.
All that
3
lurking.
ends. Wow. He's lurking.
He's really
Working while
lurking.
he works. He works while he lurks.
Lurking while he's working.
Jerking his gherkin while he's lurking.
Wow.
Hadouken.
He likes turtles, everyone.
Hadouken.
A gookin. A gookin.
You know what would make a good movie?
Sure you can.
What would make a good movie?
I wonder if they're ever going to make that.
Street Fighter?
Fighter?
They did.
Oh, so never mind. The joke's busted.
There's a joke.
Sting? Where's Sting?
Is Sting in the Raptors yet?
Yeah.
No, not it's we're only at 51 minutes. We need to go for at least
An hour?
eight more awkward minutes.
Let's just play the staring game.
Let's play a fun game I like to call
You know,
8 awkward minutes.
You know
Speaking
what's a
of
good
awkward, we
movie?
have a show tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Comic Core, the greatest show ever or whatever, with some people.
There are guys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Show.
The Swamp Thing, that was a great
Oh, that's
show.
pretty awesome. I like Swamp Thing.
I hope that they bring it back on the HBO Max.
I doubt that they will, but the quality fell off when they knew they weren't making more of them. You know, like when they cut the budget on that thing, you noticed. It's the first couple episodes of that show were
awesome.
really, really good.
they were movies, basically.
Yeah, the special effects were fantastic. And then after that, it's just like he's sitting in a swamp. Look at that. They're on a boat again.
I was literally gonna say the joke. You know what? You know what was a good movie? That Swamp Thing series.
Kat, there's a question in the chat. Did you
What?
get that pickle, Rick Pringles?
Our store doesn't have it yet.
Hasn't come out here yet.
Mark, don't get your arthritis gloves stuck in the Pringles can.
And Lurk, Perry has a good question. Who's better? Let's wait for the 8 minutes show, or the guys watching the people wait for the 8 minute show? We don't. I don't know. You
Wait,
want to just
8
look,
minutes,
Look, we're not here to point fingers.
Something about the irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
What?
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Who cares? Make me an omelet.
T-Rex.
Right?
That's how the X-Men would be formed. Basically, they're just lurking. They're just watching each other, and eventually,
They just
Yes.
hatch out of eggs.
I think they're literally just gonna pop up.
The
All
egg
right.
men.
So this Friday we have who's the special guest?
John Beatty,
John Beatty will be joining
Hey.
us,
secret extraordinaire John Beatty.
and Carson had to tag in a special co-host because he has to. He's got priors and he's got a court date.
Yep.
Just wanted
Yeah.
to say something, Carson.
Carson's freedom gone too soon.
And Chris
Going
Barrett
up the
said,
river.
Mark, you'll like those Pringles.
Mark,
Okay.
let's see those gloves again.
He took them off, dude.
Gloves are over.
We glove shamed him. That's kind of
Oh,
fucked
look
up
at
that we
those.
did that.
Look at the tips of
Right.
those fingers poking through there.
Oh
You look
my
like an old timey hobo.
It looks like a pro gamer or something now.
You're
Or an old
so
hobo,
mean.
yeah.
Mark, do you honestly get it in the car and you could just go like this? And then you look at Kat and say that you live your life a quarter mile at a time. It's all about family and you love tequila.
and then he twerks.
No.
Or it's like
Normally
do the car
before-
gimmick and then choke slam somebody like Kane.
No,
Hey.
before I do anything crazy in the car, I look at her and it's like, "Are you seatbelted?" And she's like, "Yes." Why? I'm like, "Okay." And then
You
I
then
just tighten
stare.
up a little
Do you
bit
do
and
the stare?
Sure, I've seen that happen before.
And
Yeah.
then he gives the camera as it's panning outside the windshield, the blue steel look from Zoolander, and then he does some sort of weird whippet type donuts in a parking lot.
pretty much. Sounds
But
about right.
while he does the donuts while doing actual whippets with a Cool Whip container.
Cool Whip. Cool Whip comes in a tub, Chad. You can't do whippets with Cool Whip. You can just slather it on yourself like shaving cream if you like.
Ready Whip.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
we
gotta
should
get
do
the
something
ready.
like real odd at the end of this and just start challenging Carson to a hair versus hair
Hey,
match.
you know what's going to happen here is
Carson.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be having a triple threat match, and then we're going to be having a hair versus hair match. Then we're going to have the midgets on a pole match, and then Legends going to shave his head.
Drew,
Well, hey,
look, you're not the guy who's got the male's hair across the country, all right?
Are you mowing your hair across the country?
I think that's illegal.
Legend said the loser has to auction off their hair and give the money to the Hero Initiative.
Are you gonna grow? Are you gonna grow your hair out?
In 1 week, yes, I will grow my hair out because
What are we
I
going to
have-
start this auction at so Chris Barrett knows how much money to scrounge together?
I have
he's
one
got-
question. Who's actually going to buy your guys' hair?
We'll
Chris
find
Barrett.
out at the hair auction.
Chris Barrett wants to keep that wrench. He's buying Legends hair.
Well, I do have a garbage bag full of hair for when I buzz this. I guess I could sell that if you guys aren't satisfied with the amount of hair I have now.
You should just glue that hair back on.
Wait.
Wait, I got an
You both-
idea.
You both shave your heads. You
And we make
mail
a
each
wig.
other the hair and then glue the hair back on the head of
This
your
is the
opponent.
No.
longest 8 minutes of my life.
Listen. We make a
There's only
legend.
4 minutes left. Don't worry.
No.
Oh
Make a
God!
A legend wig.
We can make a voodoo doll out of Legends hair.
You probably could, actually. That's a lot of hair.
Why?
When's this podcast coming out?
Hey, we got a question in the chat.
Thank
What's
God.
Carson, you want to answer
I
Chris
just
Barrett's
want to know
question?
when the next yard sale is. We'll do it this weekend.
You heard it here first.
It's whenever Carson's available and Kat's available.
Sunday.
We should be doing it now.
Sunday during at the 10 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Gore Vidal says superhero films
Available
are at
Sunday.
early quality stage, like westerns, or until The Searchers and Shane. Prior to that, they had A-list actors but no respect. I actually
Dude.
kind of agree with that.
I'm
I
actually
would like to lean against that for just a quick minute while we're still live here and
surprised.
say that superhero films are the leaders in the industry. All right, you're talking about the innovators in special effects, the innovators in makeup, the innovators in costume design. These are you could get Martin Scorsese talking to all this trash in the world, but without superhero films, there'd be no reason to have the technology to have old people play younger people like they did in The Irishman. So you use those gimmicks in your movie, you got to kind of bow down to the people who put them where they are.
And then at the Academy Awards, you get Eminem huffing and puffing singing 8 Mile. Or
Look,
Lose
man,
Yourself.
you at the Academy Awards, you don't see a lot of superhero films, but at the technical version of the Academy Awards,
What are you
that's all
talking
there are.
about? Joaquin Phoenix won.
Yeah,
Best
he did.
actor in a movie that he was a really good actor in that wasn't a good movie.
Was not a Joker film.
Wasn't a good film.
It was a black label, man.
It was problematic.
Systematic,
So basically,
hydromatic.
Hydroponic?
hydromatic.
Is Hydro Man going to be in the new Morbius vampire thing movie?
No, because that was just Jake Gyllenhaal's imagination.
And
he did.
Show you the world.
We have the Great
Shining,
Legend show in the
shimmering
chat.
water monsters.
What's that?
I have a movie that we can talk about.
Oh, good. This is gonna be
1917.
19.
Oh, here we go.
Carson. You liked that, didn't you?
That was a really good movie. I think it should have won the best Oscar.
I
I
haven't seen
actually
it.
agree. It was a pretty great movie.
What won Best Picture?
Parasite.
I hear such great things about that.
I have never seen
I won't.
I heard
No.
The Gentleman sucks.
What's his name?
I don't normally like films that win Oscars.
It took you too long, Chad.
I'm gonna go right out there and say things that win Oscars I traditionally don't like.
No, I would never have guessed that.
What about Velocipaster? Have you watched Velocipaster?
I've seen part of it.
Of course you have.
Pretty good. it's
Pretty
it's a,
good.
it's a pastor who his parents get killed, and then he has the superpower where he's able to turn into Velociraptor, and his best friend's a hooker. And then
Hooker
his
makes
best
him
friend
fight
says,
ninjas.
hey, you need to fight ninjas.
Parasite
With
is
his
not
power.
Chinese or Japanese. It's Korean. Save animals.
It's good.
Chris
though.
Barrett, that dude is on
You
it.
need to stop drinking.
It's
She's
not-
she's drinking soda, Mark.
Soda pop. He's joined the soda pops.
They turn into a Veloci something.
Velocipaster.
Anyway, 1917 was actually a great film. I do like how they actually continually had one shot going throughout the entire film.
Yeah, it's a super
One thing
impressive
that was
movie.
slightly-
You want to see how it's made after you watch the movie.
I would say the thing that was kind of unrealistic about it is they would have actually sent like 2 or 3 groups instead of just the one group. Just saying.
Mark, this is amazing. Like you
What?
talking right now, like the chat is going, wow, there's people losing their panties and shit. Keep on going, bro.
Yeah. Tell us more about those gloves, Mark.
Well, the gloves are keeping my finger from going like 4 times the size of it.
Guys, you know, we were like, hey, how are we going to fill 8 minutes? It's been 10 minutes.
I know.
Mark, closing thoughts?
I'm gonna go to sleep here in about 5 minutes.
You're supposed to say arthritis sucks.
Arthritis does suck.
But those
So-
gloves, though,
Yeah, so does high blood
think of
pressure.
all the fashion opportunities.
Mark, watch this. Ready? Listen, I might be able to make it loud.
Don't do it. Don't.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so you can get out of the handcuffs.
Unsubbed.
It says you can get out of
I'm
handcuffs.
going to unsub your television, Chad.
I already did.
Can you show me how to do that trick later?
No.
We got God Tank and Save Animals in the chat. We got a lot of new people hopping in here. This is awesome.
Oh, because Mark was
A lot
talking.
from the fish topic tank community. Fish tanks.
Well-
You guys are great. Very nice community.
So somebody
Well,
do
Karen.
the Def Comedy Jam exit.
Huh?
He is the Raptors.
Oh, wait, there he is.
Oh, double S.
With that being said, good night.
Oh, that's good. That was the day before my birthday.
Oh, man. It's December 18th, 2019.
Dude,
Some guy who we're never going to cut back to again did something that didn't matter and nobody cared. And then the end of this book is going to be undone in a Wonder Woman side story in a book that nobody bought because it was $10.
TJ lost his panties an hour ago. So, ready? Good
We gotta
night.
go help
God
him
bless.
find his panties.
You know what? I can't feel my face right now.
Good night. God bless.
Bye.